Hello guys, and we continue our lessons of the Russian geography as we discover more locations there based on the destructions of military objects. The materials are carefully provided by the Ukrainian armed forces, and today we have a lot of places to visit in the war-torn regions of Russia, and there are a lot of them already, all because Putin and his population wanted war, and they got it. So tonight, after a drone and potentially missile attack, we've neutralized an heavier construction institution in Taganrog. There are lots of videos showing how precise and effective the strikes were. And Ukrainian drones have also visited one of my favorite targets, an oil refinery in Bryansk region. It is an important refinery and depot as it is located close to the oil pipeline Druzhba, friendship. Well, a totally absurd name if we take into account that Russia has always used gas and oil as an instrument of blackmail. So let's discuss what these important attacks mean for the future demilitarization and defeat of Russia. My name is Anna, I'm from Ukraine, I'm in Ukraine, and if you want to see the collapse of the Kremlin and protect yourself from the hybrid warfare and toxic narratives, subscribe. We discuss all of that on the channel. And we start with our Taganrog lesson. That is quite a big city in Rostov region that tonight was visited by Ukrainian drones and, according to Russian publics, missiles. Well, this is possible taking into account that Ukraine invested a lot of efforts, money and knowledge into the development of Ukrainian missiles. By the way, let me know, would you like a separate video about that? So in Taganrog, according to the preliminary reports, there is an avia construction plant that works on the development of various military aviation things, and it was visited by the Ukrainian drones. Honestly, I saw a lot of videos, I've heard a lot of explosions on these videos, but what surprises me most is literally there is no video from Russia that you can listen without your ears bleeding, because they constantly use so many bad words. I realize it's an air raid alert, you are nervous, you realize that now Russia is in this war, you feel your own medicine, but oh my God, no Ukrainian uses that many bad language. That's a typical behavior of, I don't know, totally unprepared and emotionally uncontrollable people. I have to, decorate my ears later to ask an excuse that they had to listen all of that. So anyway, in Taganrog, there were minimum 10 explosions. There were 10 million bad words pronounced by Russians who did not suffer because our strikes are precise. We do not waste our drones on bad things. We simply protect Ukraine and neutralize their evil military objects. And most importantly, another mission continued in another Russian region, another Russian war-torn region, and that is Bryansk. In Bryansk, they have an oil refinery and depot located close to a pipeline Druzhba, which can be translated as friendship. Russians have this habit of naming things contrary to what they mean, like negative advances or something like that. So pipeline Druzhba, of course, is not about friendship. It's actively used by the Russian army to supply them with fuel, with oil that is much needed for the military machines. And here I mean both literally the ones that are on the front lines and also metaphorically Russian economy that is collapsing. Subscribe to see the final collapse of this evil empire and also to demonstrate your solidarity with Ukraine and all freedom-loving and freedom-fighting people. So in Bryansk, it happened tonight, the destruction of oil refinery in the result of a drone attack. And honestly, I've missed these updates from the oil refineries. And the second one is from like a week ago, on the 5th of December, in Bryansk, in one of their railway depots, two cargo locomotives decided to, I don't know, like self-burn. Well, they committed locomotive self-destruction. And now it might be an undercover special operation or something, but anyway, this railway, these cargo locomotives were used for the supply of Russian army. Once again, you have to realize that the majority of these Russian war-torn zones, actually all of them regions, they are a platform for attacks on Ukraine, and that's the only reason why we need to keep neutralizing and demilitarizing them. And once again, it's all because Russia decided to invade Ukraine and made a very, very wrong choice and actually started the collapse of its own federation. And now I'm sure you've heard a lot about Bryansk, Kursk, Belgorod, Rostov, Krasnodar, Lipetsk, Voronezh, Volgograd. Well, all of these regions are already a war zone. People know what an air raid alert is. People have heard the sound of explosion, and once again, it can all end as soon as all of the Russian troops retreat, Putin is in prison, and generations of Russians are going through various important programs for democratizing them and so on. Anyway, it's super important to remember that Russia is the initiator, Russia the aggressor, Russia is the one that crossed all the red lines, and it cannot be like, I don't know, somewhere in between, in the middle, where you make Ukrainians accept something. No, no, no. It's non-negotiable because unpunished evil grows, and most importantly, we see that dictatorship can collapse, and they typically do it really quickly. A kind reminder about Syria. And Putin keeps bluffing, and now he decided to send a couple of fighter jets to North Korea, demonstrating how strong this alliance is actually, and once again reminding the democratic world that right now Ukraine is not just fighting with Russia, but also with North Korea, China, Iran. And I'm sure that people of the European Union, people of the United States, Canada, Australia understand that these are your enemies too, because they already have this different types of economic wars, ecological wars, political wars on your territories too. And I'm happy that one of my favorite presidents since recently, President Macron of France, is not just helping Ukraine express our vision of the just peace, but also works on the achievement of that. And there are rumors he has conversations with the Polish government about the potential peacekeeping troops in Ukraine, represented by different countries of the European Union, in the size of like 40,000 soldiers, which is more or less a good idea. Let me know, what do you think about that? Also, subscribe to my social media pages on Instagram, X, Threads, Blue Sky, and Discord. I am traveling to the bravest capital in the world these days, and potentially will share more updates there. So stay tuned. Thank you for buying me coffees, becoming my patrons and sponsors of the channel. Check our merch shop for lots of good items that work well as reminders and conversation starters about Ukraine. But most importantly, thank you for being friends of mine and friends of Ukraine. Slava Ukraini!